Hi again, everybody, and welcome back to Enjoy English School. I'm Bruce.
I'm Antony.
Today is part 2 or day 2 of Loveboat Taipei. This is in our book club category for the month of June. And yesterday we introduced the author of a novel and how it came about. And today we're going to be looking at the story, the plot of the book more carefully.
没错了，刚用到一个字 plot。plot 指的是呢小说或者是电影的情节。好，那在昨天的话，我们介绍了这个作者邢丽美，还有他的背景，然后还有他如何一边呢是完成了他那个哈佛还有哥伦比亚的学业，然后变成律师，然后同时在写这本书《台北爱之船》。那在这边的话呢，我们之前还有提到说这个。他写的这个故事，他其实主角会碰到一个跟他作者一样的这种困境，就是如何能够在自我追寻，然后追逐自己的梦想，跟光耀门楣的这件事情之中找到一个平衡点。那我们今天要继续介绍这个故事的内容。
Okay, take a look at your book now, and we'll read the first paragraph, first sentence. Abigail Hingwen's novel Loveboat Taipei is about 4 bright young Asian Americans who attend a summer program in Taiwan called Loveboat. So we're really repeating what we introduced yesterday, but now we have more additional specific information. You know that the novel is Loveboat Taipei, but we didn't know from yesterday's introduction that there are 4 main characters in the story. They are bright. They are very smart, very intelligent Asian Americans, so they're not necessarily from Taiwan. They could be from Japan, from Southeast Asia, like the Philippines or Vietnam, maybe Korea. Those are Asian Americans. In fact, also Nanya, Indian Americans or Bangladeshi Americans, that's all Asian Americans. And they come to Taiwan in the summer to join that program called Loveboat. Now notice, Loveboat in this sentence, the last word is not 斜体字. It's not italics because it's not the name of the book. It's the name of the program that the Asian American students come to Taiwan to participate in.
没错，这是一个重点哦。所以你在看这个文章的时候，要特别注意一下。如果说这边你看到 Loveboat 第一段的第一句话里面最后一个字 call Loveboat， 你会发现说，这个没有斜体字，它在讲的是这个 program。L 一样要大写，因为它是专有名词，是讲到这个文化活动，但是没有斜体是因为这不是书的名字，所以整句话呢，我们来看一下我们这个主角邢丽美，好，这个 Abigail Hingwen's novel Loveboat Taipei， 好，爱之船台北呢 is about 4 bright young Asian Americans， 这个 bright 指的是 intelligent， 就是很聪明的意思。老师刚刚在讲 bright 的时候还指我，突然之间不好意思了一下，对不对？Who attend a summer program in Taiwan， 那他们这4个这个非常聪颖的年轻人呢，就参加了台湾的这个活动，好，就是夏令这个海外暑期返国的这个夏令营，然后它叫做爱之船。
Despite the name, remember the name of the program is Loveboat Taipei, there is no boat involved. It has nothing to do with a boat, but there is some romance. So the love is suitable, but the word boat isn't. But in English, we often talk about something as a love boat. It would be a place where people can get together and fall in love.
没错，所以在这边的话说 ，despite the name， 即便这个名称里面有爱之船的船呢 ，there's no boat involved， 里面根本没有船，这个文化活动里面没有什么船的活动。But there's some romance， 但是呢，确实有很多的爱情不断在滋长，那种感觉就像是一个联谊活动一样。好像以前的话，我们可能还有一些活动，像什么我爱红娘啊、来电50啊这种联谊活动，大概像是那种感觉。
Let's look at our second paragraph now. Ever, the main character, shares a similar background with the author. Now, of the 4 bright students, one of them is a young woman. Her name is Ever. That's one of the oddest names I have ever heard. But remember, if you go to another country, if you don't use your real name, your given name, but you use a name in the language of another country, you're free to choose. Why she chose Ever, I'll never understand. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's unique. I never saw anyone with this name before. Now, the author, Abigail, she's writing really about herself. Not exactly, but it's very similar to her own story.
Yeah， 所以在这边的话，你看到 ever 就是在这个书里面的主角的名字，好，非常非常罕见的名字。代表他说 the main character， 好，在这边的话，我们有个同位语的感觉，告诉你说这个 ever 就是 the main character，shares a similar background with the author。那他的本身的这个背景呢，就跟作者呢是类似的这样的概念。
Dancing is her passion. Her is referring now to the character Ever in the story. But her strict parents, her parents try to control everything she does. Should we mention helicopter parents? We'll talk about that in a moment. Her parents are pushing her to become a doctor. And this we discussed yesterday. Parents want their children to be successful. There's nothing wrong with that. But they often limit what they hope their children will be. There are thousands of things you could be, but parents think of the doctor, the lawyer, the professor, the successful businessman, and so on.
Yeah， 没错，在这边他的 dancing is her passion， 他呢最想要的那个梦想呢就是当个舞者，好喜欢跳舞。But her strict parents, strict 这意思就是指非常严格，甚至可能是严厉的，好很严格的父母呢 are pushing her to become a doctor， 他不断的把她推往说你要成为医师啊，你要光宗耀祖啊等等，就不让她跳舞，跳舞东西不要，这跟你未来没有关系。哦，老师刚刚提到一个字 helicopter parents， 意思就是指那种直升机父母，在上面一直盘旋着，看你有没有在做该做的事。好，来这边要特别小心。好，如果碰到这种直升机父母的话，很多时候要完成自己梦想是有困难的。
Meanwhile, at the same time, Ever's roommate Sophie seems more interested in finding a boyfriend than anything else. So remember, these are kids or young adults coming from other countries here to Taipei to spend a summer, to learn more about their roots, to learn more skills in the language, the dialect Mandarin, and to have some fun. Well, Sophie, Ever's roommate, she's focusing on the fun. She wants to have a good time in the summer, and that's more important to her, to Sophie, than learning language skills or learning more about her culture.OK，
所以这边的话你就看到了，好，你可以想象一下，一个在自己家乡里头，好被父母这样监管着，好不断的去压榨他说，哦，你要赶快去当医生啊，要做好各种准备啊等等。突然有一天来到了台北，好，然后参加这样的活动，在他活动的时候认识了人，然后这些人呢，他说，我来这个地方天高皇帝远，我想干嘛就干嘛。所以你看这个地方，他说 ，Meanwhile, Ever's roommate.Sophie seems more interested in finding a boyfriend than anything else. 你发现到你来到这个地方的时候，你找到一个室友，室友跟你讲说，哎，谁管他啊？我就要好好找一个这个那个可爱的男友，然后谈一个轰轰烈烈的恋爱，这样子，你发现到哇，这个世界突然之间变得非常非常自由，非常非常开阔。
Okay, we'll take a break here. Stay tuned.Okay, welcome back, and now paragraph 3. During Loveboat, Ever befriends two boys named Rick and Xavier. So these are the boyfriends. Befriend is a verb. To make a friend with someone or of someone is to befriend somebody. Ever, who is the main character, her roommate is Sophie. Ever finds two boys that she likes. Rick is a familiar term for Richard, which is a very common name. Xavier is much less common, but you will see it now and then, and it's also the name of a city in the state of Ohio.
没错。所以这边的话呢，我们看到了他 during Loveboat 在这个爱之船的文化活动里面，你有发现到他没有斜体吗？所以文化活动里头呢，Ever 好，这个主角呢 befriends two boys， 好，他有认识了2个男生。好，分别叫做 named Rick and Xavier。老师说 Rick 就是 Richard 这个名字还算是蛮普通的。另外 Xavier 的话，可能大家会知道的应该是 X-Men 里面那个坐轮椅有新天的 Professor Xavier。哦，这个名字的话，可能大家第一个会想到的，也许就是 Professor X， 那个 X 就是 Xavier 的意思。
Oh, good. All right, next sentence. Rick is a highly successful student. So of the 2 boys, Rick is the standard student, and Ever's parents often compare her to him, much to her annoyance. Well, somehow Ever must have told her parents and sent pictures or videos back home. I want to introduce a friend of mine, and his name is Rick. He's a very good student, and Ever's parents would like her to continue her relationship with Rick. Maybe he'll be a good influence on her, but that's the only reason they like him. So she's annoyed, she's upset, she's angry.
所以在这边的话，你看到了，还有 Rick is a highly successful student， 就是所谓的超级学霸啦，哈，学霸级的人物。And Ever's parents often compare her to him。哎，你看看人家 Rick， 哈，人家都那么厉害，如何如何，你听久了觉得说烦呢，超级烦的嘛，对不对？所以他就说 much to her annoyance， 他就觉得说天哪，你要我一直跟这个 Rick 多在一起，只是希望说，因为人家学业成绩好，然后搞不好人家很有成就，可是。总觉得这样讲会非常非常很烦的那种感觉，所以他说 much to her annoyance。这个 annoyance 一定有看到那个字 annoy， 对吧 ？A-N-N-O-Y。If you feel annoyed， 加上 ed 就是感到觉得好厌烦的，不要老是只看到人家学业，然后就逼我一直跟他在一起，他觉得很烦。
She discovers, however, now this is Ever again, the main character. She finds out.She learns that he has a normal side just like everybody else. Maybe in classes he shines, always has good answers, and he cooperates with the teacher and the other students, sort of the perfect student. But he can also be normal. Outside of class, he's just another guy.
没错，所以在这里的话说 she discovers， 她居然发现了 however that he has a normal side just like everybody else。 你可以想象一下，你的学霸同学在课堂上就是完爆其他人，很强很强，你觉得你跟他很有距离感，但是下了课之后出来之后，你发现到，他居然还有平常人的一面，甚至有的时候你会看到一些什么他有点生活白痴的地方，你会觉得这个人还蛮可爱的，不会那么高不可攀，遥不可及。好，所以在这里的话，他意外发现到 Rick 也有他非常平凡的一面。
Now remember that Ever befriends 2 boys. We just learned about Rick, the super student, and now we find out about the other guy, Xavier. Xavier, on the other hand, so this compares 2 things that are very different, is an artist who is drawn to Ever. Now, a novelist would be a kind of artist, at least I think so, practicing some kind of art, and to me, language and writing are arts. But he has a bad reputation. People say bad things about him because of his behavior. And what is that? For being a heartbreaker. He will date girls and have some fun with them, and then look for somebody else. And the first girl who has fallen in love with him or likes him very much feels alone and very unhappy.
所以在这边的话，我们就知道另外一个这个男孩呢叫 Xavier。Xavier 怎么样呢 ？On the other hand， 另一方面呢 ，is an artist， 感觉上是一个艺术家的这种感觉，或者他真的就是艺术家。Who is drawn to Ever， 他本身也深受这个主角 Ever 的吸引。 But he has a bad reputation. 不过他在外面的声名不是太好。For being a heartbreaker. 老师刚刚有解释了 heartbreaker 的意思，就是那种情场的浪子啊，可能跟你在一起一下下，然后之后说一溜烟的就不见，就跟别的女生去约会了。好，你居然这样对我，那种感觉，好，就比较花心一点。
He has a lot of experience.
No, not really.
Last paragraph. In America, ever had to deal with her parents' many rules. So even though she's in America and she's from Taiwan, she has to deal with, she must accept, she must handle what her parents want her to do. They have many rules. You may do this, and you may not do this.
对，没错。他这边讲到说 ，in America， 在美国的时候呢 ，ever had to deal with her parents' many rules. 好，在美国的时候，当初呢，爸爸妈妈在身边嘛，给他下了很多规矩，不准这样，不准那样，你只能这样啊，不准那样。OK， 很恐怖，对不对 ？Deal with 就是要去应付那个父母的那些规定。
In Taiwan, she is given almost complete freedom. While she's only in Taiwan for the summer, then she'll go back to America. So suddenly in Taiwan, she's not used to complete freedom. She can do whatever she wants. Maybe she doesn't tell her parents what she's actually doing. Now, during that free time, which she does not have in Taiwan, but in America she does, that gives her the opportunity, the chance to discover her identity, to spend more time thinking about what she wants to do, allowing herself to feeling for other people that she doesn't have a chance to do back in Taiwan.
所以在这边的话呢，你看有没有看到了？他说 ，In Taiwan, she's given almost complete freedom. 他突然这样脱缰野马一样，天高皇帝远。所以在这边的话，想干嘛就干嘛，也不见得要跟爸妈报备我做了些什么。有些只能做不能说的事情，他也可能都尝试过。Which gives her the opportunity to discover her identity. 当你今天有充分的自由的时候，你突然之间你要去想，我到底要追求什么？他有机会去探索自己的内在 ，discover her identity， 开始面临到自我认同的问题，还有自己到底真心想做什么这样子的课题。
Okay, let's take a break before we finish Day 2's article. Okay, let's take a look at this sentence. She and her friends also deal with issues. An issue could be a problem, not necessarily a very difficult problem, but it's something we need to think about, something we need to face and consider. And these students from Western, maybe European, North American, even South American, Huaqiao, the Chinese students whose parents are students, when they come to Taiwan, suddenly, first, they have a lot of freedom that they may never have had before in their lives. That's not easy to handle. And they are not alone. Ever is not alone. These boys that she likes are not alone. This happens to a lot of, I'll say kids at my age, I can say kids who go overseas and suddenly they can do what they want to do, and they find out that other people like them have similar problems, so they're not alone.
OK， 所以这边的话说 ，she and her friends， 她呢，这个 Ever 主角，还有其他她的朋友们，他们都在面临着同样的一个课题，或者同样许多课题。他说 also deal with issues。提到 issues 这个字的时候，不见得一定是很严重的问题。那很多时候你提到同样是一个你必须要处理的一件事情的话，你可以说是 problem。听起来的时候，感觉就是觉得好像没有办法。比较辛苦一点，没有办法处理。但你有说 issue 的话，感觉觉得说好像有解决的办法。好，这是在 issue 跟 problem 最大的差别。That many second generation immigrants face， 也就是第二代的这个移民呢，当你今天要回到这个文化的这个根源的地方去看的时候，你就会重新去对自己的存在，对自己到底是谁，我是谁，我从哪里来，会有同样的一个认知，好，可以重新的一个认知跟认同。这些东西都是他们。第二代移民所会共同面临的问题。
And now we finish up at Loveboat, the program. Ever learns a lot about herself, her identity, and Taiwan, because she's never been overseas before and certainly not in Taiwan, just like Abigail did. The author, remember, has chosen Ever, and she's able to think about her own experience through someone else, even though it is fiction.
没错，所以最后呢，他就说了 at Loveboat， 在这样的文化活动里面 ，Ever 主角呢 learns a lot about herself， 慢慢了解到自己的存在、自己的认同感 ，and Taiwan 也了解了台湾 ，just like Abigail did， 就像作者一样。
Okay, remember, as a review now, in the last paragraph we have the noun immigrant. That's a person who goes to a different country for a short or long time. The verb is immigrate. I-M-M-I-G-R-A-T-E. That's the verb, immigrate. Ever's parents are immigrants in America. They immigrated to America a generation ago.
没错，所以在这边的话，我们要认得 immigrants 是人。那如果说今天要当动词的话呢，就把后面那个去掉，变成 immigrate， 就会变成动词了。
That's it for today's program. Thanks for joining us these 2 days. We'll be back later this month, so start studying. Till then, bye-bye.
第20页好书俱乐部，爱之船，台北。
Loveboat Taipei. Abigail Hingwen's novel, Loveboat Taipei, is about 4 bright young Asian Americans who attend a summer program in Taiwan called Loveboat. Despite the name, there is no boat involved, but there is some romance. Ever, the main character, shares a similar background with the author. Dancing is her passion, but her strict parents are pushing her to become a doctor. Meanwhile, Ever's roommate, Sophie, seems more interested in finding a boyfriend than anything else. During Loveboat, Ever befriends 2 boys named Rick and Xavier. Rick is a highly successful student, and Ever's parents often compare her to him, much to her annoyance. She discovers, however, that he has a normal side, just like everybody else. Xavier, on the other hand, is an artist who is drawn to Ever, but he has a bad reputation for being a heartbreaker. In America, Ever had to deal with her parents' many rules. In Taiwan, she is given almost complete freedom, which gives her the opportunity to discover her identity. She and her friends also deal with issues that many second-generation immigrants face. At Loveboat, Ever learns a lot about herself and Taiwan, just like Abigail did.